Maximus Analysis here for February 2nd, 2016. At the close, we see that we had another pull down today. They held this 1903, 1892 level. We want to see if they're going to get above this 1905 level overnight. But again, the bulls, in order for them to show some type of strength, need to get back above these highs. Okay, this is basically an evening star type of pattern off of this retracement. Now, I know there's some chart, Nissan Japanese chart purists that are like, no, that has to happen at a high or a low. Look at the price action and go from there. So again, they've gotten deep into this previous candle, but they did bounce a little bit off the lows. The lows were 1889. So they did bounce a little bit, but they're under 1905, which is basically giving you some indication based on this candle. The high of this candle is around 1940. So we're seeing weakness so far, but want to see if they're going to give us this boogie right now, this shake, or they're just going to continue to the flush. So again, we'll see what happens in the UK session and where they continue to go. NQ down 100 as well. So again, there's no perfection, but you see that they've been given lower highs. They need to hold this 4150 area as well overnight. You have the YM down about 260, and overall the index was down 300 for the day, 295.50 for those being super picky. Need to see the same thing. Need to see a regain of something on these futures. At least get up to this sell signal of 16,225, 228 to see where things are going. And you can see we had another bad day for crude. Continue with another strong bar to the downside. And again, I don't know how long this is going to take, but again, if they break below this 29 area, they could definitely go to the 25 area. Okay, this is just looking at the chart right here. Again, some people will say how, they have to be lower, they have to be higher. None of that really matters to me right now. I'm just looking at a chart, and if this was named another thing, I would treat it accordingly. Let's look at some names. Google had its gap up and fade all day. So it gapped up and faded all the way at these previous highs. And this is another reason I don't trade breakouts. They can work, but again, most people are going to try to sell into it, similar to what I spoke about with Facebook. Okay, this does not mean that it's going to break down, but a break of this low would mean that there would just be some profit taken, and it'd be a better situation to either be holding through this earnings, or worst case scenario, as stated, to be just peeling some of your profit on into strength. It's just an easier way to trade. Tesla's down 14 bucks, and again, it had a huge day up and gap down again and closed near the lows. You had LinkedIn. LinkedIn looks okay. Again, you want to, I actually would like them to pop up higher into this if I was going to short, to lean against this 200-day moving average and this midpoint. But we'll see what the market provides. Apple was down $2 as well, so you can see that it's continuing to show a broken pattern so far. The only thing is they haven't made it easy with a lot of these gaps up and down. So you see the gap down here from trying to hold this previous low. It makes things a little difficult in regards to, but at least you have somewhere to put your stop if you were looking to get long off this candle. But right here, hopefully, again, this market has been more for aggressive trading. I guess unless you're a long term, again, time frame can give you perspective. So if you're looking at a weekly time frame, this really doesn't mean much to you. But those looking at the daily or an hourly or maybe a 240 chart, it's giving you the environment that you need to be a little bit more aggressive than usual with your positions. So Fitbit down 62 cents, again continuing, again showing another flag to the downside. Don't try to pick a bottom with these things. Priceline was down 18 bucks, but again gave more of an indecision day, and since this little breakdown here, it's looking a lot like just give me a pop-up to short into. So I'll be selling the rips in regards to this unless they retrace and catch something on the ES. So again, going back to that finally, we want to see how much juice they have going into this level, and they need to get above 1915 to at least say like, okay, we might go back up to, again, our targets of 1953 or even 1985-ish. to the upside for some more downside potential. So let's see what happens overnight. But again, I would keep my powder dry for the long side, because you see that a lot of the big names might need to retrace a little bit more because they're just extended anyway. So with that long extension on the big names, and this being in such a weak position, when they start to retrace, this could push this down a little bit more. So you got to keep an open mind for what could happen upside. And again, the big picture thing that we're looking at is 1850 for them to hold that level, which is right about here, so they don't flush down. So we'll continue to look at that. And again, you can also look, maybe I'll use the SPY. You can look at the weekly time frame if it's starting to get really excuse me, it's starting to get really crazy. You can always look at the weekly time frame, and that will help give you a little bit more perspective and try to see past the chop. So you can see this on the SPY that we haven't broken a low yet, so you don't want them to break this previous low. So if you're saying, okay, I could go long based on here, you should not be stopped out. But if they start breaking below previous week lows, then we're going to start looking at things. So let's see what they have in store for the rest of the week, and we'll take it from there. Take care.